After 1,117 trips completed throughout the Uber and Lyft platforms, I never dropped below 5 stars as a driver. And in today's video, I'll be going over the #1 rule that gets you kicked off the Uber Black platform and how I was able to maintain a 5-star rating as a driver. On the Uber website, Uber got a list of requirements that you must meet in order to drive Uber Black. One of the requirements are you must meet a 4.85 driver rating score. So this means if you currently drive an Uber and you're a regular Uber driver, if your score is not above a 4.85, you cannot drive Uber Black until you get that score above a 4.85. Now, on the other hand, if you're not currently in the Uber business, but you plan on being, I just learned this. This was something new because whenever I first started out, I was able to just start with Uber Black. I thought if I'm gonna drive people around, I'm gonna go to where the money at. So I just created me an Uber Black account and I had the vehicle requirements along with the documents and I started driving. Now, I mentioned, I just learned this varied per state. So for example, in Las Vegas, you have to have a minimum of 250 regular trips completed. So you have to drive regular Uber first before you're able to transition to Uber Black. Not all states gonna be the same, but I know for here in Houston or Texas, you're able to just start. Like me, I just started. I didn't drive regular Uber first. I just started with Uber Black. I do recommend that if you plan on becoming an Uber Black driver to check your local market requirements first, depending on what state and city you live in. But the baseline is you cannot drive Uber Black no matter what state, what market you in, if your driver rating is below a 4.85. Now, as an Uber Black driver, if you want to maintain a high rating driving score, like myself, a 5-star, I got 3 non-negotiables to keep that score high. Starting with #1, personality, manners. #2, smooth, comfortable rides. And then #3, clean SUV and professional presentations. Now, I'm gonna go back to #1, which is personality. I'm gonna just say this. If you do not have a good personality, do not come into the Uber business, period. Because you interact with hundreds of people per day and they're gonna talk to you. Even if you be rude or in your own little world and bubble. Now, I'm not saying you have to talk to everybody, but strictly in the Uber Black business, rich people are sponges. They love to talk. They love talking. And I ain't saying all, but majority of them love to talk. And if you to yourself or coming off as rude or disrespectful, you might rub them off the wrong way. And I added manners in there because I learned mannerism go a long way. And I always heard this when I was in my teenage stage, like, hey, yes sir, no sir, no ma'am, yes ma'am. All of that goes a long way. And it actually does, especially in business. So if you want to succeed, keep those high ratings, that's like the basics. Having a good personality, outgoing personality, being talkative, and just having basic mannerism. Yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am, period. #2, the smooth, comfortable rides. Smooth, comfortable rides is just driving like you got common sense. I'm gonna just say that. Driving, well, let me take that back. Driving like you got glass in the back. Or, you know, the packages that say fragile or whatever, driving like you got that in the back. Or driving like you got a baby in the back. You wanna make sure they feel as less braking and acceleration as possible. You don't wanna be accelerating too fast and braking too hard, swerving when you make a turn. You kinda wanna be like a very cautious driver. I'm talking about 2 hands on the steering wheel, looking to the left, looking to the right. You know, calculating your move minutes before you make it. That's the best way I can put it. So for example, if I plan on making a right turn and I'm coming to a stop, I'm gonna start braking maybe 60 seconds earlier. That way I don't hit my brakes too hard and have to swerve in as I turn. I'm gonna slightly brake, slow down, and then make the right turn firm and without having to jack the wheel. So that goes with the smooth and comfortable rides. And you know, just driving, like I said, this is the Uber business. I'm not trying to overcomplicate it. I feel like everybody should know this, but unfortunately they don't. And in the Uber Black business, that matters. You gotta treat Uber Black like you work for a limousine company and you got your own clients in the car, because those potential leads could be your clients. And if that's your first impression, swerving and braking and doing all of the crazy stuff, they're not gonna go with you or choose your service. So be mindful of that. #3, clean SUV. I preach about this a lot. Having a clean SUV on the inside and outside should be a priority. I'm talking about try to get your SUV washed every 2-3 days on the outside, and absolutely unacceptable for you to not clean your SUV every day. Every time I drove Uber Black when I was driving full time, I cleaned out my SUVs every day. I didn't want one speck of dirt on the carpet. I didn't want trash nowhere. Every time I got done driving, I cleaned my SUV. And sometimes as I was driving, like on the Uber clock, I'll get out just to make sure no previous customers left anything in my car. That way when new customers and clients get in, they're like, it's trash back. Like I said, whenever you get anybody in your car, they all potential leads. You don't want to rub them off the wrong way by having a dirty SUV on the inside and also the outside. So basically just make sure you maintain and keep up with your SUV looks on the inside and outside. Now, the professional experience or the professional presentation, is something that you just learn as you go. Now, I didn't have a script written out or nothing. As soon as somebody got in my car or they opened the door, I was like, hello, Jason, how you doing today? Oh, I'm doing good. How about yourself? Oh, I'm doing good. What you got planned for today? Just bringing them in an SUV, making the conversation warm, making sure the temp is right in the SUV, making sure the music not too loud, just having that professional, warm, comfortable, or comforting environment. That's the best way I can put it. So it's not like as a professional presentation, you gotta have a damn script written out. No, just be welcoming and like friendly. Hey, how you doing today? Oh, I'm doing well. Even if you don't want to, trust me, I've been through this multiple times where I was having like a bad day and people getting in my car, hey Trey, I'm like, hey, how you doing? And inside I'm like dying, like, oh fuck, I really don't want to be doing this, but I still have to carry myself a certain way. You're not gonna feel like doing things all the time, but at the end of the day, you gotta do what you gotta do. It's not about wanting to do what you don't want to do when you don't want to do it. It's about always having a mindset of, hey, no matter what, no matter how I feel, I'm gonna always show up and present myself a certain way. Now, when it comes to the rating killers that lead to people getting kicked off the Uber Black platform, which by the way, I hadn't seen yet. I'm not no damn Uber guru or Uber ambassador. I just talk about it a lot to educate people on how to be successful in it. But the biggest mistakes I see people make, and this is typically if they start off with like regular rideshare, like UberX and Uber Comfort, which by the way is a different demographic of people. That's like a low middle class, kind of like people on the poverty line that really can't afford the high-end services. Obviously, different demographic, different treatment. So like what I noticed is they probably deal with these rude, disrespectful, entitled passengers, and they don't know how to maintain that professionalism, even if the ride going bad. But I'm just go on the outline of what I see. Late pull-ups, people showing up late to the destination. So for example, if Uber directing you and it says you 8 minutes away, but you end up taking some detours or a detour or whatever, and you go on different roads that make you like 4 minutes late to the person, that's like strike one. Some people actually take that serious. They like, oh, where my ride at? Because maybe they ready to go home, they just got off work, or something just happened, an emergency, and they gotta get dropped off somewhere. So that could kill your rating. Driving aggressive, driving crazy, that's another one I've seen. That could kill your rating. As I mentioned earlier, if you swerving and doing all of that, no matter if it's you dealing with high-end clients or low-end clients, I don't think anybody would want to be in a car with a driver driving like that. And if you were my driver and I was a passenger, I would put you a 1-star rating too. So driving aggressive, that's what I see a lot too. Not paying attention to the GPS, looking everywhere, not paying attention, or they in La La Land. Like whenever you drive an Uber, you have to kind of be locked in. You gotta kind of treat this like a job. I get like you a boss, you work for yourself, but you still have to treat it, as such. That's the best way I can put it. And if you're not paying attention to that GPS, them turns come up very quickly. And if you don't pay attention, boom, now you missed a turn. A trip that would have landed you there in 3 minutes now delayed you to 7 minutes. And boom, passengers upset or passenger upset, 1-star rating. So factors like that kind of like kill your rating. So if you plan on being an Uber driver, Uber Black driver, whatever driver in the Uber business, just make sure you're on point. That's like the simplest way I can put it. And I want to go back to dealing with entitled passengers, because you're going to deal with entitled passengers no matter if you're doing Uber Black or normal regular Uber. And this is just something I experienced. I've experienced this multiple times where I got like entitled people in my car, and they was trying to be rude, disrespectful, and racist. And I just ignored it. That's the best way. Ignore it. It's like, okay, they can say whatever, do whatever, feel however. After I drop them off, I don't gotta see or hear from them again, which usually that happens. Especially if you live in a big major city, like you're not finna see them people again. So why sit there and try to check them or get back with them if they doing something or whatever? Now, I'm not saying let them disrespect your car or disrespect you. If they do that, take care of your business. Just make sure you protect yourself. But I'm saying like if they making smart comments, I'll give you all an example. One time I picked up these two older white ladies, and basically they was talking amongst themselves. And they was just talking about my car. This is stupid music. And by the way, y'all, I typically just play pop and I keep it low. I don't keep it high, so you barely can hear it. So they was trying to like upset me, and cause they know I can hear them. They was like, oh, this is stupid music. He got it cold in here. I can't wait to get dropped off. Just saying stuff like that. And in my head, I'm like, okay, Trey, ignore it. You 8 minutes away from drop off. So that, that's the best way I can put it. I'm not trying to make this super long video, but whenever you get entitled people in your vehicle, no matter what type of Uber you drive, just ignore it. That's the best way, simplest way I can explain it. I also forgot to mention poor service. Y'all, you literally driving people around. I don't know, it mind boggles me that you provide poor customer service when it's not that many options of stuff you can do with the person or that they could ask for. For example, they can say, hey, could you cut down the temp, or could you cut up the temp, or hey, could you cut down the music if they on a call, or hey, could you move this piece of trash, whatever. Just poor customer service in general. Like, I don't understand how people make this hard. Like, you literally only working with a limited amount of options as far as what they could ask from you. But if you kind of on point and like driver etiquette, you know how to deal with customers and clients, you will have all that already preset to where they don't have to ask you for nothing. You already know how it's going on. And I feel like that's the best way to be as an Uber driver, no matter what Uber you drive. Now, when I first started in the Uber business, I didn't have anybody to walk me through the logistics or strategies when it came to the rideshare business. I literally had to learn everything the hard way through trial and error. And this is why I created the Rideshare Blueprint. The Rideshare Blueprint breaks down all the logistics of the rideshare business that no one teaches you about. If you want access to the Rideshare Blueprint, click the link in my bio, and I'll catch y'all next video.